I just created this AI vibe coded page, and if you ask me, it looks amazing. I created it in like 5 minutes of prompting back and forth, and now I hit a problem because I want to be hosting this site in GoHighLevel because there my whole backend is set up, right? My automations, my emails, my CRM, all my contacts, my calendar, you name it. So how do we solve this problem? It's actually really funny. I have broken my head over this, and last night at 2 a.m., I figured it out. I even woke up my wife and I was like, babe, I figured it out. I got it. So let me take you by the hand and show you step by step how you can take your Vibe Coder website and upload it to a Go High Level without coding, and then you can run your website like it's built on high level, but you don't have the headache of building it yourself anymore. You don't have the headache of that it takes so long or that you need to hire an expensive funnel builder, which is really cool if you ask me. So let's dive in. I created this using Google AI Studio, which is a great designer if you ask me. There's a lot of vibe coders out there, obviously, but I found that Google AI Studio gives the best result on the design level. So I created this page, and it's actually for the workshop that I was supposed to be running this evening, but it was a little bit short notice. I was so excited about it. So I will be running the workshop later this week. So this is the actual site. As you see, it's quite nice. It has some animations in there. You can sign up for the workshop. There's even a form. If I fill in my name and my email, I will automatically appear in high level. Look at that. So if I now go to high level, you can see that I just signed up and it sent me an email. It added a tag, and I was waiting for me to join the workshop. Isn't that great? So, how do you do such a thing? There's a couple of things that you need to understand. There literally is no way yet, yeah, notice yet, to just copy paste a whole vibe created website into a normal funnel builder. Why? Because if you look at the code, it's all in TSX format or JSON or TS, and high level just doesn't work with those formats. High level works with HTML, with JavaScript, and with CSS for like styling and stuff like that. And if you know high level a little bit, you know that it's a bit static, right? There's not a lot of animations, and if there are animations, it's quite slow. But if you look at another site that I created, this is my SaaS funnel. Look at that. There is an animation going on, and it was quick, right? I mean, if I reload it, if I just open it again, it's really quick. You see, there you go. And then this whole thing shows up. It's like an animation. You see, it's not here, and then it appears. And this is quite a basic site, you know. There's some stuff going on, some nice animations, and I haven't connected this page yet, so this is not a great example, but I wanted to show you this because there is an animation going on, like a video on the background, which I think is great because if you look at all these static funnels, I think it's a bit boring. So how do you go from this code to a file that you can copy paste into high level? Let me go back a little bit. I think it's still in here. Anyway, I just did it for another project. This is not the best design out there, but I just created this in like 2 minutes. It's also a site with some animations, and the buttons are working. At least not here. It's always when you're creating a video that it is acting up, right? So this is the site, and it has some nice animations in there. And if we take a look at the code, it's also in TSX and stuff like that. And if you know a little bit about coding, this is not going to be a coding video because you obviously just want to copy paste. But if you are building web applications or like websites or whatever, I think this is just basic knowledge for everybody to know. There's this thing called React, and a lot of stuff online on the web is built on React. Um, and to get your app from, or like your site from, a React version to an HTML version, there is some transformation needed. Um, I figured out a prompt that I can feed to AI Studio. I'm still testing with Lovable and with um, anti gravity because what I want is to be able to just throw my vibe coded, no, not even throw. I want to be able to vibe code this, connect it to GitHub, and then GitHub will be able to load it, or GitHub hosts like the code. And then the code I can access via an anti gravity or whatever. And then here I can easily edit the code. And what it will do is it will add this little folder with the two pages that I can just copy paste into high level, which is what I'm going to show you guys right now. So if we have this page, you see it's working, right? Join workshop, it's going to here. The header nav bar is working as well, which is quite cool. And there's some animations going on. I have my socials hooked up, and they're working as well. So how do you do that? You just throw the prompt into the prompt that I just showed into your AI coder, or like your vibe coder. For me, that was AI Studio. So this prompt is specifically built for AI Studio. You throw it in there and you ask it to generate basically an HTML, JavaScript, and CSS file that you can copy paste into high level, which you then do. You take it, you go to high level. What I did is I created a blank page. You can do it here. You create a blank page. Let's do that again. Let's just delete this. So you have a blank page, right? Then you go to, I have a pre-built section, which is an empty code section. So you just take a code section. No, you actually make a new section, and then you add a, a row with your custom HTML JavaScript code. Then what you do is you go to styles and you remove all the padding and the margin. And because I already did that, it's hard to show. Let me show it right here. You take a code element, you go here, start with this one. So this one doesn't have any padding margin. Then you go to then over here, I'm not gonna do it all. You just remove all the padding and the margin over here as well, and over here as well. And as soon as you do that, it will appear like this. Because if you don't do that, let me show you, you will get a really weird website. So in here, there's no code yet. Let's go back to this one. And I have the prompt right here. Let me take it. And this is all just fine tuning of the process. I'm gonna make sure that I can just ask the vibe coder to throw out the HTML file inside of the vibe coding code, so that, like, a instead of an index file, it would there would appear a GHL file, right? And then you can just like this one, comment A, comment C, comment V, uh, not comment V, but you can just copy paste that into um, high level. But now I have to do it manually because I want to show you guys real quick how this works. So I just copy pasted the HTML file, and now we will copy paste the CSS file, which is the like the styling, and then we are good to go. Let me see what's going on here. I think I know what's going on. I already integrated the CSS into here because yeah, I wanted to. I integrated the CSS into here because I wanted to see if that was possible. Otherwise, you would have to copy paste the CSS in here again, and that's not really nice. So let's remove that. Then we paste it in here because now I want to show you guys the difference if you don't remove all the padding and stuff like that. So let's go and check it out. Here we go. So you see this is the actual site. And if we compare it to what we created here, I mean, it looks pretty similar, right? I see what's going on. This bar is appearing here because I have two blocks. So let me just show you how it would look like. The first section we remove. Let's check it out. You see? This looks weird, right? It doesn't work. Why? Because we didn't remove all the padding and stuff like that. So that's why you always remove all that. And I recommend you save it as an asset so that you can just copy paste it in here. You see how fast this is? Maybe your vibe coder takes like 5 minutes to create a page, and then you take 2 minutes to create this and copy paste it. And sure, this is just real basic, right? Because now what we need to do is we need to hook up the buttons. Why? We can create all the other pages with the vibe coder as well, sure, but we want to integrate our products, our payments, our leads, our email list, everything natively from GHL, right? Because we still want to be hosting everything on GHL and be using it as a CRM. So that's why we want everything to integrate with high level. And I think I already put it in this code. Let me check it out. I'm not sure. Because what you need to do is you need to add an idea or let your AI coder add an ID to the buttons that you want to use to hook up to other sites, to let's say a pop-up or whatever. Because this stuff is just scrolling down, right? You don't need to hook that up, but you do want to hook up shop now or like explore collection or whatever. And in order to do that, let me check the workshop page. I think I have it on here. This one is actually a bit more complicated. Why? Let me show you. Because here I have a pop-up that I created in the code with the vibe coder so that it matches the brand, like the input screen and everything. It just makes sense, which you can see here, right? Let's go and join the workshop. You see? Oh, I already registered. Let me reload it. Then it should work again. You see, this is just really beautiful because it looks like the rest of the page, right? And the way that you hook that up, it's actually pretty funny. You go to layers, and let me show you this. In here, I have a form, but it's hidden. You see? This is the form that I need for people to sign up. So I want their full name and their email. And what I do is I tell HighLevel, okay, this form is there, but I want you to hide it. So don't show it when the page is rendering and actually live. And then I tell the HTML script, I tell, okay, I have this input field. I want you to give the input field an ID, or I think I gave it an ID. You see, I gave it an ID, and then this one can call that one, and it just connects to that, right? So that is really great, and you don't need to understand all the code and stuff like that. It's a great head start if you do, because then you can check it. But if you understand the concept, you can just tell your vibe coder to do it for you, right? And also, your vibe coder can just give you the custom class you need to add to the form. So let me see where I have the code for this. So this is the pop-up. And then over here, you see there is this ID that it assigns to the pop-up. And then what it does is just connects to the pop-up that we created, or like to the form that we created, which is great because if you just this is actually very simple, because if you just need leads, it's just two things to connect. But if you want to integrate products or whatever, we might want to work with embedded payment, uh, yeah, like payment forms or anything. But that's something for another video. This is just for you to understand the basic concept of this. um, yeah, you see, let's see. Yeah, this is the logic that it uses, and then what it does, you see. And also, for example, I had a little problem here, because if people just uploaded their name, it would create a name, full name, last name, like three fields in high level. So I had to tell the AI coder, okay, I just want, it doesn't matter what they insert, high level will see it as their full name, so that we can reference that when we're writing an email, right? Because if they put in their name, high level will create a contact with that name, and then we can use that contact in our campaigns. That's the beauty of all of this. And another great benefit of this is if you vibe code a website, 99% of the website is already mobile optimized. And I don't have to tell you guys that mobile optimization can take a lot of time. If you have great templates, it's okay, but it still takes a lot of time. You don't want to manually update and optimize for mobile, right? You just want to vibe create a website or a funnel, connect it to high level, which I will give you guys the tools and the prompts for. And then you can just launch within like 5 or 10 minutes. And on the back end, you connect the payments, the products, and the leads, and then you are set up and ready to go. And then you can create stuff like this in minutes, or stuff like this, and everything just works. And for me, I'm gonna connect my calendar to this, and here I will connect custom web applications that I built, and people can just check them out, and that's the beauty of it. And if you want to go next level, you can go into stuff like this. I don't recommend you do, but if you create with little bit more experience, it's actually becoming easier than working with a vibe coder, right? Because if I just create my website in like an ID, my screen just went dark, so there was an interruption. What I was saying is that if you work with an IDE like Cursor or Anti Gravity, which is great by the way, if you ask me, but it's actually a lot easier to create beautiful websites. Why? Because you need to understand a bit more, but it's way faster. If I finish this project, I will definitely make a video about that as well. But if I finish this, it's really easy for me to just vibe create a website, throw the code into here, and then connect all the pages to each other. And if I want to, let's say, move an update, for example, my this is my homepage, and then over here we have the workshop page, and like I have like a few other pages for djandjacob.com, but the footer is all the same, right? And in high level, you can just set um, a footer that will automatically update for all the pages. But if you just copy paste the HTML code, you cannot do that anymore. And then you manually have to recreate all that again and again. You don't want to do that, right? So that's where this will come in. This is the same project, it's connected to GitHub, and then I can just talk to it and it will update the footer in all of the pages, right? And I can interconnect the pages, I can just have a lot more insight in. And I often like to compare it to the construction sector. I came from a construction background, so I understand that um, quite well. The construction sector, if you are like an architect that just got out of school, um, you don't have a lot of experience, right? You don't know the difference between certain tools, between certain ways of building, and that's all right. You can just vibe create a building, right? But if you are a little bit more experienced, you know exactly, okay, if I use this and this for this, I can do this and this and this and this way faster, and it's just speeding up the process. The results are exponentially better, and you just have a lot more agency, or like a lot more to say, because you're not dependent on other people anymore, and you save a lot of time. But that's for another day. I mean, first, master the vibe coding and vibe creating, so that you have a basic understanding of how to actually build the sites or the funnels or whatever. And then once you have done that, you can dive deeper into an ID or stuff like that. So I want to finish this video with saying that I lost my trail of mind. I want to finish this video with saying that um, I will upload a prompt for all the different vibe coders out there to my website, so you can just find it there. Check the link in the comments, and yeah, just think about it like this. You can just vibe create a website, and the connection part is actually really easy. You need to have a little bit of experience, and if you're not comfortable doing it yourself, you could definitely hire somebody like me. Um, Sleek promotion. But what I find very valuable to know is that I often worried a lot about like figuring out how to connect everything, and how I worry too much about the details, which is fine because now I figured all the details out and I can help other people fix the details, right? But for people that are just creative and want to create a lot of websites, offers, you name it, just go ahead and vibe create your way around the role, right? Don't let you be stopped by people that tell you, yeah, well, it's not at a level that we want it to be and it's not working really well. Okay, cool. Maybe it's not working for those people, but it's definitely working for you, and we can connect it to anything. There might still be a little bit of handwork involved, but that's all right. I mean, within a year or two, we will only be vibe creating websites and funnels and offers and all of that kind of stuff. So then you'll be ahead of the rest, right? Because they're still manually building all the pages in high level or ClickFunnels or whatever. So yeah, that's I just want to encourage you to just focus a lot on the vibe creating part, and then you can just create beautiful stuff like this. Which if you would have to create this by hand, it's a lot of work. I started out designing in Figma and then uploading it to high level and building all the sections myself. And sure, if I'm being really honest, if I look at this, it's a little bit scary. I am used to it for like a couple of days now, seeing just a blank screen with custom HTML, JavaScript. But if you know how it works, it's actually really refreshing and giving a lot of peace of mind because this is all there is. And if you look at it, it looks great. So you don't have to worry about not having all the insight in high level. You don't need to see the page in high level. You need to have all the backend stuff in high level, right? So your contacts, your calendars, your conversations, your opportunities, your payments. I mean, name it. That's what you want to have in high level. And the rest of the stuff you can just do in here and see how fast you can create a page. So that will be it for today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am happy to help you out. And if you have like suggestions for stuff that you want to have a video created about, or you have something that you need help with, just reach out to me in the comments or at djanjacob.com, where you can find me or on my socials. And I will see you in the next video. That's it. Bye for now.